_Kenya at Kemuma _Monari. We are streaming live on YouTube at KUTVNEWS Kenya. Now, on his second day of the development tour in Mount Kenya, President William Ruto has affirmed that his bond of friendship with the people of Meru and Mount Kenya region is unbreakable. Ruto says he will stand firm and ensure the interests of all Kenyans are fulfilled and there is unity for the country to move forward.
Watu wa Meru jameni, na wauliza kama mtanisaidia tuunganishe Kenya.
During his second day tour on Mount Kenya at Gembe South Constituency, Meru County, President William Ruto has reaffirmed his friendship that he created with the people of Mount Kenya to be unbreakable.
Urafiki nimetengeneza na watu wa Meru. Urafiki nimetengeneza na watu wa Mulima. Ni urafiki ambayo tumetengeneza kwa miaka karibu 20. Hakuna mtu atakuja kuvunja urafiki ambaye mimi nimetengeneza na watu wa Mulima. Na siwezi kukubali mtu yeyote kuja kati yetu na ile kazi tumefanya kwa pamoja.
The president pinpointed his role of uniting Kenyans from every part of the country as he emphasized the need for inclusion of everyone's ability, strength and thoughts, pledging no part of Kenya or community is left behind.
Kazi yangu kama kiongozi wa taifa ni kuunganisha Wakenya wote kutoka sehemu zote, kutoka jamii zote, kutoka pande zote, kwa sababu umoja ni nguvu. Ili tuweze kufaulu kama taifa la Kenya, tunahitaji uwezo na nguvu na mafikira ya watu wote. Mimi si wazimu, na mimi si mjinga, na mimi si mlevi. Najua ni kina nani walinisaidia nikaunda hii serikali, na mimi nataka niwahakikishie tutatembea pamoja. Mambo yenu mulinipatia, mambo ya kusomesha watoto nimepanga vizuri. Tumeajiri walimu 76,000 wapya.
In the company of several leaders, Ruto has warned Miraa cartels that he shall take action against them.
Watu wa kateli ya Miraa, mimi nawaambia mambo yao ni matatu. Either wakome na kateli ya Miraa, ama mambo ya pili tuwapeleke jela. Mambo ya tatu waende ile safari.
Legeti ya cartels ya Miraa nitapita nao asubuhi na mapema. Rais anipatie hiyo kazi, ninyoroshane na cartels. Mimi nitagonga hao na ile shoka kubwa, wakwende wasikwende.
On his part, the second in command told of his critics, emphasizing his work is not to oppose the president.
Rais, mimi nataka nikushukuru mbele ya hao watu. Nikuambie sitakuaibisha, nitakusaidia kazi, sitabishana na wewe kwa sababu kazi yangu sio kubishana na rais, kazi yangu ni kusaidia rais.
While visiting Meru and Kirinyaga counties today, the president was able to launch, inspect and commission various development projects such as commissioning the Kiburi feedlot and issuance of title deeds for Athwana area, Tigania West, Meru County.
Unasema tuungane ama tutengane? Tuungane ama tutengane?
Brenda Nyongesa, KUTV.
Affairs Minister CS Musalia Mudavadi alongside corporates and MSMEs CS Wycliffe Oparanya appeared before the Senate on Wednesday for questioning on public interest matters. This time Mudavadi struggled to explain the prolonged delay in repatriating Kenya's Borana as senators criticized the government for failing to fulfill its long overdue promises.
It was not business as usual in the Senate proceedings as the members stood ground questioning the Prime Cabinet Secretary who doubles as the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Musalia Mudavadi, about the government's sluggish effort to repatriate Kenyan Borana from Ethiopia. With concern, the senators criticized the irony of Kenyan government eagerly embracing foreigners while dragging its feet to bring home its own people.
The Cabinet Secretary knows that the government made an announcement that they are opening up the borders to allow Somalians from Somali to come into Mandera. So if you are looking for people outside Kenya to come into Kenya, why don't you make it easy for Kenyans outside Kenya to come back home?
I just want to point out that we would not want Kenyans to be refugees anywhere. And if we had all the resources and all the planning, it would not necessarily take this long for the refugees to be to be repatriated.
The conflicts in Marsabit County was fueled by territorial disputes and local political tensions, leaving the affected Kenyans stranded in Ethiopia. Mudavadi, in government's defense, outlined government's measures for their repatriation, clarifying whether compensation plans were in place.
It will require a rigorous process that entails internal survey to go and see visits, identification of settlement areas, signing of voluntary repatriation forms, and other bureaucratic processes. This option may not be immediate as it requires time in order to fulfill all the requirements. The government only facilitates return and reintegration into the Kenyan society for any Kenyan refugee granted asylum by any country. No compensations are paid by the government for any returning Kenyan.
Despite the efforts put in place by the government, Musalia noted that refugees would only be repatriated willingly.
Repatriation of refugees should be undertaken for those who are willing to return, as it must be voluntary, based on an informed choice and consent to return given by the refugees to avoid coercion and prosecution.
Cooperatives and MSMEs Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya was next to face intense scrutiny as senators demanded answers on the failure of both the former and current Kenya Cooperative Creameries (KCC) to settle terminal dues amounting to more than 200 million Kenyan shilling for employees and their compensation plans.
I'm aware of claims of funds deducted from the then employees' salaries that had not been remitted in their cooperative society in respect of their shares. This amount is being considered together with other employment dues.
The grilling aimed at checking the credibility and bring at par the cabinet secretaries with their role. Ochieng Cynthia, KUTV.
Now, religious leaders in Teso North have vowed to defy the directives issued by the National Council of Churches, barring politicians from announcing major monetary contributions in churches. The leaders defended President William Ruto's church donation, stating that those who oppose Harambees comes from churches which have modern infrastructure.
The recent move by the National Council of Churches of Kenya banning politicians from addressing the congregations or announcing monetary contribution from the pulpit continue to divide the church.
Sisi kama kanisa tunasimama nyuma ya serikali, tunaungana na serikali, hatupingani na serikali, maana kiongozi kutoka kwa Mungu, na ndivyo tunavyoamini vile neno linavyosema. Hali ya kanisa katika eneo la Teso kiuchumi iko chini sana. Kanisa zingine ziko katika hali ambayo ni mbaya sana.
The religious leaders in Teso North have come out to defend the president on church Harambees, noting that those who oppose to Harambees come from churches which has modern infrastructure and has a working congregations which support the church operation fully, unlike those churches operating in less privileged areas where 90% of the congregants live in abject poverty.
Michango ya kanisa zetu hapa inafaa kwa sababu makanisa yetu hapa yako chini sana tukilinganisha na makanisa mengine ambao yako maeneo mengine, tukilinganisha makanisa ambao yako Rift Valley na sehemu zingine za Central na kwingineko. Tuko chini sana. Makanisa watu wanaishi, wanaabudu kwenye miti, wengine wanaabudu katika nyumba za kukondesha. Tuko hali ya chini kiasi.
The clergies in Teso North, led by Bishop Michael Kino of Full Gospel Church, have vowed to defy directive by other religious leaders and invite all political leaders to support the work of spreading the gospel, noting that Kenya is established on the foundation of Harambees.
Pamoja na kuwa viongozi wetu wanasema tusifanye michango kanisani, bara isapoti ya kwamba nchi yetu ya Kenya imejengwa kwa jina la Harambe. The foundation of our country, from the word go. Kwanzia zamani tulijenga kanisa hili kwa njia ya kuchangiana na kuinuana kama taifa. Tumefika bana, tumefika kwa sababu ya jambo hilo.
Haswa sana kipindi cha mvua makanisa zingine zinainama kwa sababu ni makanisa yamejengwa na udongo na semi permanent na mvua ikinyesha hawana mahali pa kukutana. Wengine hawana jengo, wanakutana chini ya miti. Na ndio sababu tunaona kwamba tukiweka pamoja nguvu zetu na rasilimali zetu tunaweza kuinuana ili kuwepo na mahali pa kukutana.
President William Ruto has been the frontline soldier championing for the church donations despite issuing an order banning politicians and government officials from making cash contribution to Harambes. His latest donation to Jesus Winners Ministry in Roysambu sparked outrage from dissatisfied Kenyans amid its call for austerity measures. Despite criticism, the head of state remains defiant, vowing to press on with the Lord's work.
And those who are against the word of God in Kenya, those who are against the building of sanctuaries in Kenya, supporting the word of God in Kenya, they will fail and they will not succeed because they will not overcome us.
Ruto is expected to be the chief guest in the upcoming major Harambee of all churches in Teso region. Auma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
A family in Namawangi village, Matungu constituency, Kakamega County is decrying the delayed justice following the death of their 27-year-old son who was stabbed to death in January this year by known individuals. The death is believed to have been fueled by a love triangle dispute. Here is our very own Baraka James with the details.
It is now 3 months since Naman Auka, 27-year-old son of a family from Namawangi village, Matungu constituency in Kakamega County, was brutally murdered. His death being said to have occurred in January this year after being stabbed to death using knives by known individuals. According to Michael Auka and Frida Auka, who are his parents, the late Naman met his death near Chengo Primary School in Butula, Busia County when he was attacked by two known individuals with his girlfriend on the night of January 1st this year and was stabbed to death.
Ilifanyika ilikuwa tarehe 1, ndio tuamkie tarehe 2, tulipigiwa simu amekufa. Kwenda huko alikuwa kama amelala hivi. Sasa kwenda kumtazama tukampata kama amedungwa makisu. Nilimuona tu hivi na mimi nikafendi, wakaniingisha kwa gari.
Ni ndugu yangu akanipigia simu akaniambia kwamba kijana wangu Naman iko ng'ambo Chengo amedungwa kisu. Sasa sikukuwa na lingine kuamuka, hata akili yangu ilikuja kapotea, na tukaandamana naye moja kwa moja paka kule Chengo. Nikakuta kweli kijana amewaga, amedungwa visu.
According to the family members, Naman's death was fueled by disagreement with one of the suspects about a girl they were engaging with.
Fununu tulisikia tu ni kwa ajili tu ya msichana. Walikuwa wanang'ang'ania msichana. Sasa naye kijana huyu wakamwagilia pilipili na wakamdunga kwa macho yake.
Tulilia, tukalia. Maaskari walitoka huko na wakafanya upelelezi, wakachunguza, wakachukua mwili, wakapeleka Seka. Wakatuambia watachukua hatua ile yenye inafaa. Tuliongoja, tukaongoja mpaka leo hatujaipata hatua ile yenye ilichukuliwa.
The family now says that they are left with a lot of painful questions, especially with there being no answers despite the suspects of the murder being identified.
Ni miezi 3 sasa, kuanzia tarehe 1 kuamkia tarehe 2 mpaka wa sasa. Tumeenda kuripoti huko Butula sisi wenyewe, mpaka saa hata wakapeleka hata manamba ya huko ya kufuatana na hiyo msichana. Mpaka saa hii tujawahi kuona hatua ya polisi.
Watu wenye walisikana na kifo ya kijana wangu ni watu wenye wamejulikana, kwa sababu hata msichana mwenyewe alikuja hapa, ilikuwa mwezi wa 12, kama tunakaribia Christmas, alikuja hapa akakaa, akakulia hapa Christmas. Baadaye tukaachana naye tarehe 29 akienda.
Additionally, the family now lives in fear of what will happen next because the area is witnessing increasing cases of murder, especially for the young people, while the security department remains silent.
Kama vijana sisi, hata sasa ukitembea uko na hofu, hatujui utatembea urudi, ujui utalala, ujui utaamuka. Ni hiyo tu ndio yenye iko.
Sasa tuko na wasiwasi, unaweza Masaki kupata leti huku kwa mtoni. Kuna vijana wanakaa hapo. Uko na wasiwasi utapita wapi?
3 months later, after the death of their son with no justice granted, the family members are now calling on the government to intervene and ensure justice is granted to the fullest.
Sasa tunataka serikali ichunguze, ifuatilie na ishike hao watu.
James Baraka for KUTV.
Many thanks, James Baraka, for that report. We do hope that justice will be served and the family will get some comfort even after the death of their family. Now let's take a short break and then we'll be back with more.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Kemuma James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
They find it quite strange talking to you.
We should just make schools integrated,
Inclusive setups.
by providing the right facilities.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
Welcome back. Now we'll continue. As the job market evolves, the needs for students to equip themselves with the right skills and networks has been more crucial. Today, the Department of Community Resource Management at Kenyatta University hosted its 2nd annual Alumni Series workshop aiming to mentor and guide students on how to position themselves for emerging opportunities in the labor market. Here is that report. The need for continued development and constant adaptation to the evolving job market has never been more crucial. To remain competitive, students must equip themselves with relevant skills, industry knowledge, and strong professional networks.
We are very proud of each one of you and the great work that you are doing out there as our good ambassadors. You have agreed to come back and mentor our young students, guiding them as they also prepare to step into the job market once they graduate.
Recognizing this, the Department of Community Resource Management at Kenyatta University today hosted its 2nd annual Alumni Workshop Series, a platform designed to mentor and guide students in navigating emerging career opportunities. By bringing together students, alumni, and industry professionals, the event aims to bridge the gap between academic training and the realities of the workforce, ensuring graduates are well prepared for the demands of the modern labor market.
Employers are looking for problem solvers, someone who is able to spot a problem, propose a solutions. They are not looking for people who will just bring problems or who will just present problems. They are looking for people who will really try to get down into the problem, but also finding solutions for that particular problem.
While emphasizing the need for active involvement in the areas of interest, Stephen Mwangi, an alumni of Kenyatta University, also acknowledged the challenges of unpaid internships, noting that while they provide valuable experiences, financial constraints often make it difficult for students from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Not really paying even any stipend really disadvantages, especially those who come from poor background, because they are not able to take up this unpaid internship of volunteers because they don't have any means of sustaining themselves. So you would find such positions really advantages those who are able to cater for themselves, really leaving out a big population that are not able to sustain. I feel on the part of employer, probably there should be an investment on stipends, not so much maybe, but really to help this volunteer or an intern to sustain themselves.
While representing the Executive Dean of the School of Business and Economics, Dr. Perez Onono, Dr. Rosemary stressed the importance of professional branding and keeping up with industry trends.
Market, personal branding is no longer optional. It is essential. Your personal brand represents your skills, your values, your professional identity. Employers are not just looking for academic qualifications. They are not just looking for degrees and certificates. They want individuals who can demonstrate initiative, leadership, and adaptability.
Dr. Solomon Burunga, chairperson of the Department of Community Resource Management, while highlighting the core objectives of the events, that is networking, personal branding, and understanding the country's labor landscape, emphasized the need for such programs in ensuring students get a cutting-edge advantage over their peers.
I think a student who first of all excels in academic always has an edge outside there, because when you're given marks, a first-class student will also be given a first opportunity. Just like the way we take a flight, first class or business class, we normally enter first, then the economy.
With the current job market, preparation and packaging is important, with stakeholders emphasizing the need of embracing emerging job opportunities in the green sector and digital trends. Yvonne Kemuma, KUTV. Now, the National Government Constituency Development Fund NGCDF Chairman John Olago Alwoch has reaffirmed the fund's continuity despite a court ruling mandating its closure by June 2026. He highlighted an appeal by the Attorney General and legislative efforts to entrench NGCDF in the Constitution. Speaking during an inspection of works at St. Joseph Dunda Primary School in Manyata, Embu County, Alwoch pointed out the delays in the disbursement of funds from the Treasury to the NGCDF board, which he said affected the smooth implementation of projects from the lack of funds.
I can tell you confidently that CDF is here to stay. There was a court judgment last year that gave CDF board up to June next year to wind up our operations. Both the Attorney General, the National Assembly, and our board have appealed against that judgment. In my view, even talking not as just chairman, but also as a lawyer, that judgment was an error in law. But leaving that appeal aside, Parliament has now taken steps to have a bill that is going to entrench CDF in the Constitution. Once that is done, then there would be any court cases against the CDF that can succeed. And that bill, which I think now Parliament is going to start public participation, it has got the support of nearly 90% of the MPs, and we expect that NCDF is going to be entrenched in the Constitution.
Now, the second Women in Procurement Conference at Sarova Whitesand underscored the need for gender inclusion in procurement and supply chain management. The Principal Secretary, State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action, Anne Wangombe, emphasized the empowering women in the sector to foster economic growth and sustainable development. She reaffirmed the government's commitment to gender-responsive procurement policies.
This conference is a critical step towards ensuring that the constitutional mandate for gender parity becomes a living reality, driving innovation and efficiency across all industries.
We are not inviting women into the economy. We are already here. Hello, we are already in the space. We are contributing, innovating, and driving progress. What we need to do is stop blocking the door.
Last year we spoke of fostering leadership development. Today we must accelerate the ascent of women into leadership roles, providing them with the tools, mentorship, and platforms they need to lead and innovate. Last year we committed to raising the bar for gender equality. This year, we are not just raising the bar, we are breaking the ceilings, driving systemic change that ensures equitable opportunity for all.
Now, from women empowerment, we'll take a short break and then we'll be back with the sports stories. Don't go anywhere.
In a world where uncertainty rules and opportunities are scarce, it's time to break from the barrier and unlock your full potential.
We must live within our means. We cannot spend money that we don't have.
We will explore the fascinating world of investment, trade secrets, business strategies, and entrepreneurship.
Sasa challenges ziko mingi sana. Parking ya mzigo imekuwa mbaya. Unaweka pesa yako na kataa kurudi.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, what you covered with invaluable insights to help you succeed.
Now, this year we have seen a rebound in the economy, which is well above the global average of the 3%.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, every Sunday and Monday on KUTV News at 9, and let's turn your dreams into reality.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Now, Athletes Kenya has named 444 notable candidates to compete in the World Athletics Champions in Tokyo. According to World Athletics anti-doping regulations, to ensure eligibility, athletes must complete at least 3 no-notice out of competition anti-doping tests before October 2024 and August 2025. The first test must be complete by May 24th, 2025, with the final deadline set for August 29th in the same year 2025. Failure to meet these requirements will disqualify athletes from selections. These anti-doping measures are in addition to qualification times and national trials. Now, Arsenal thrashed Fulham 2-1 in the English Premier League at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal midfielder Michael Merino opened the score sheet in the 37th minute before Ghana's forward Bukayo Saka sealed the win in the 73rd minute. Fulham's forward Rodrigo Muniz scored a consolation goal in the 90th plus 4th minute. In other matches staged yesterday night, Wolves edged out the Hammers with 1-0 victory at Molineux Stadium, while Nottingham Forest stand Manchester United with a 1-0 win at City Ground. Tonight's Premier League fixtures, 6 matches are on the card. Manchester City is set to face Leicester City at Etihad Stadium at 9:45 p.m. while Liverpool will battle it out against Everton at Anfield in the Merseyside derby. Well, many thanks for being with us through the entire of this bulletin. Our sign language interpretation was Jennifer Obuya. My name is Yvonne Kemuma. On behalf of the rest of the team, have a blessed night.